Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome back to another video on my channel. Mike Fear Clips back again, and I said about a month to a month and a half ago that I was going to try to make Foothead episodes about every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even every month, just breaking down the game and how it's been, how it's not been, stuff like that. At the time of recording this, it is the 16th of October. This is going live tomorrow, the 17th, exactly 1 month after we got the game. Back in September on early access. This morning, or earlier yesterday, we received patch notes as well as an update earlier today to what they thought was going to fix a lot of the issues that we had. For those of you that might have played the game, such as myself, you'll have found that it did the complete opposite and has done nothing but make it more of a headache to play. Before I get started, if you want to look at these notes yourself, I will be showing some screenshots up on screen as we go, but the link to the forum that I'm reading this on will be down below if you haven't seen them already for yourself. They're actually, it's kind of funny going through it in a I hate this game kind of way. If I'm going to try to refrain from talking too much shit on EA in general. If you've seen my streams as I'm playing, I say some things while I'm streaming, especially during foot champs and stuff, that are kind of directed towards EA. Nothing insane like some of these people are saying on Twitter, but like, you know, not nice things at the same time. The game infuriates me to a level that I didn't think possible. It brings out a side of me that... Please! Fuck! So, I don't get it. I really don't. Like, so, diving right in, literally the first few lines of the patch notes here. Basically, this entire first section, this first block, under just general gameplay, from my looking at it, it literally is just making the computer better, which this feels like we're back in FIFA last year, where all you had to do was hold down A and let the defender do the defending for you, or let the AI do the work for you. And I feel like FIFA was in a place when the game first came out. The first week, I'll admit, was infuriating because the gameplay was so different, but it was what everyone was asking for. It was that skill gap between the competitive players and the not so competitive players. The players who play, 5 hours a week compared to the players who play 25 hours a week. There was that split, and it was a good thing because once you start picking up that game and you start like getting one win after another, and like everything is clicking in your head how you're supposed to play the game, it was a great game. Like I said, it was some of the best gameplay, if not the best gameplay we'd had in years. Especially in compared to FIFA 19 last year, and even FIFA 18 to an extent as well. It's just annoying that we're reverting back to that. The next thing is with skill moves. They're talking about, nerfing the drag back again, which last year it was basically not usable for a point, and now we're going back to that apparently, which is really the only way to drop defenders, especially early game. If you had to come up against a Van Dijk, if somebody managed to buy him or pack him, or even his loan card that everybody got, everyone was running around with Van Dijk in their team for the first 2 weeks of the game because no one really had money unless you were spamming packs and basically putting a second mortgage on your house. That's all you came up against, and realistically, I didn't have the players capable of really taking him on with much success. The drag back helped a little bit because he kind of sent the defender the other way, but now that's been nerfed. Now this is the part that makes me laugh, because if I didn't laugh, I would be breaking things. Right here. Rarely, in situations where an opposing player was very close to the controlled player, attempting to make a pass would not register. That entire area, that whole like 4 bullet points or something, is what's fundamentally wrong with this game. All day today, I streamed for about maybe like 5 hours this morning. I would say about 6 to 7 of the games I played today, maybe 5 passes went to where I wanted them to go to. I lost a lot of games today because passes just weren't going where they needed to go. Some players, I had some instances where I'll throw my team up on the screen now. This is the team that I run weekend league with last weekend, what I'm hoping to bring into weekend league this weekend as well. Griezmann and Aubameyang, they're very good players. And the fact that Griezmann had an opportunity to pass the ball to Aubameyang where he was directly in front of him, maybe 3 to 4 yards max, and Aubameyang had his back to the defender, and it passed it off wide, or he tried to send him on a run with a simple A pass. Just stuff like that is infuriating to me. But then you have the opponent who looks like he's pinpointing passes like he's Barcelona, and he's just literally. But and then of course you try to do it yourself and it doesn't work, and it just gets you even more angry. There are just certain times where a pass is difficult. I understand that, and I'm the first to admit that I make a lot of risky passes that probably shouldn't have been attempted. Those I'm okay with. It's the ones where I'm passing the ball to a player that's a few feet to my right, where he has a little bit more open space, or I have a player running down the wing that I want to be able to pass to him, but I can't because the pass gets registered that I want to pass off onto the other side of the pitch or something stupid. I had 2 instances where I would pass the ball to Aubameyang and he would hold up short and wait for the player to make an overlapping run, and I pointed forward. I would hold my stick forward for the ball to be passed to him, and instead he just turns and passes it behind him. There's just some things that I will say are, circumstantial, like that it doesn't work. I get that, but there are some that are just blatant and they should work no matter what. They're simple enough passes that they should be coming off time and time again. It baffles me how this game has been out for a month already and we've already been through 4 title updates. This past one, the one that I think has ruined the game the most, and I hate to say this because I was really hoping they weren't going to go this route, especially a month into the game. They're catering to the lowest common denominator of player, a player that doesn't play it that often. They're almost pandering the players that don't play the game more than a couple hours a week or what have you. Whereas I try to play as much as physically possible, as much as work allows with family limitations, and I try to play every weekend with Weekend League, and I try to get the best possible rewards for my streams and all that kind of stuff. And it's really difficult, the place where this game is in, especially the fact that we're only a month into the year. We have a lot of FIFA left ahead of us still, and at the rate we're going, a lot of players aren't going to make it through December again, just like last year. A lot of people were saying that, me included, I gave up on FIFA 19. I stopped playing competitively in January. I stopped playing completely in like March. As much as I wanted to play the game, I physically couldn't take the headache that game gave you time in and time out. Obviously, you're going to have some games that are better than others. There are games today that things seem to be going right. Obviously, it's a mental thing as well. When you're frustrated at the game and you're really making just stupid plays and you're not level-headed, you're going to play worse. I know that better than most. But there are some times that just certain things happen and they flip a switch in your head, and no matter how calm you are, you just react, because this game on a fundamental level is just broken. There's so many things that shouldn't be happening, but they still happen nonetheless. There are some, certain aspects of the game that just I wish that EA would fix, but they just ignore it. Instead, they worry about stuff like this. The fact that fitness levels weren't being affected. So, we had a month of not needing fitness cards, but now they're going for about 1,200 coins, I think. 1,100 coins on Xbox, something like that. It's just like, from reading all of this, it almost looks like the game shouldn't have been released. Like, there's so many things that are still just so broken. I was playing games today for a good amount of time, and it just, my players didn't feel like they should. As you guys saw, my team with Aubameyang and Griezmann, they're both pretty quick players. So like the fact that still, and I'm not the only one complaining, that everyone is complaining the same things, that you have players like Luke Shaw that are catching up to players like Aubameyang. You have players like Kolarov, who early game when I was using Mertens, because I got lucky enough to pack him untradeable. You have players like Kolarov who are catching Mertens in full sprint down the wing. Things like that should not happen. Like, I definitely think that they did something to pace without saying anything to anyone or stuff like that. And then there's just the biggest nightmare of all that basically has made this FIFA 19 2.0 the dropback meta. Earlier on this year, I definitely struggled with finding a formation because last year, for majority of last year that I did play, I ran a 4-2-3-1 narrow with the cams up front. And a big meta last year was drop back and a drop back / possession based tactics for your team, for early game, for late game, didn't matter. It worked all the time. This year, they really didn't have that, so you actually had to learn how to defend, thank God, which, again, sucked the first week, but once you got used to it, you started to actually play some nice football, for the most part. Well, drop back's back. It's just everyone is running it. It's all over the place. You'll have a player who will get a goal within the first few minutes of the game, and then you're trying to make a run towards his net, and there's just 10 people behind the ball. His striker is just sitting at midfield, or even better, his striker is playing defense successfully and able to make tackles that no striker should be able to make without getting a foul. I was using Lucas a lot. He's one of the players that a lot of people were using in that striker role, where he would come back and defend better than most defenders, really. Like, the plays he was able to make were kind of insane. I was playing a game this weekend in Champs, and I went up 1-0, then the guy tied it up 1-1. He ended up winning 3-1 at the end of the game, and then when we got to the player screen at the end of the game, he ended up having 5 back with 2 center defensive mids. I think he had 5 center backs. He had 3 in the middle, 2 as his center mids. He had 2 CDMs as cams, kind of to play even further back. And again, that's just the mindset that everybody's in, right? That's that drop back mentality of just sit back in defense and hold. I'm not, a professional player by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a gold 3, gold 2 in that range player. Sure, some players, some professionals do have the ability to break down a team like that and take advantage of it. I may not be one of them. A lot of people aren't. That's a very difficult formation to play against, especially when it's the 80th minute. You have to score 3 goals to win the game, and you have 5 players who are center backs right in the center of your field trying to block you from getting to the net. The state that this game is in is a joke. And again, a lot of the times I just think, it's just me overreacting or complaining about the game day in and day out, but it's not. I was watching a video from Kurt, this one right here actually. I'll link it down in the description if you want to watch it for yourself. Everything he says in this video is 100% facts, and it's the blatant truth. It's probably one of the most accurate representations of where we're at currently in FIFA. And it's, for lack of a better word, it's a fucking joke. We're a month in, and I feel like I've been playing this game for 6 months. It's upsetting, for one. I want nothing more than this game to be enjoyable again, but at the rate we're going, we're reverting as far as gameplay wise. We're not moving forward. It's nothing new. It's just more of the same. I said it earlier today. It's almost like they had a backup FIFA 19 patch that they never used, and EA were just like, let's push it out. Let's see if anyone notices. We noticed. A lot of us noticed. Yeah, that's gonna be me done. I mean, there wasn't really much I had planned on speaking about. I just wanted to talk about the patch and just where we are um a month into the game. I did say that, I was gonna talk about other things like certain players and stuff like that. I might save that for another video. At this point, I feel like this is the more pressing video to make. With gameplay like this, nothing else really matters. Um, but like I said, I still might make that video just separate, just so this is its own entity. Um, Hopefully, if I do get that up, that'll be up within the next few days. Yeah, that's me done for right now. The link to this, as well as the link to Kurt's video, will be down in the description below. Just let me know, what you guys think of the game so far. It's been out for a month. It started out one of the best FIFAs we've ever received. And then just little by little, it's just one thing after another. We kind of took a couple very large steps backwards as far as gameplay, as far as just enjoyability of the game in general. But yeah, that's me done. See you guys next time.